welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. First off, yes, I am wearing the same outfit as I wore in my last video because I'm just filming videos back to back today. Anyways, for today's video, as you can tell by the title, I wanted to basically discuss something that isn't really talked about very much in the makeup artist community, but it's basically balancing work life and your personal life. So first of all, as everybody probably knows by now, I don't freelance on a full-time basis. I have a full-time job that it's like a 9-to-5 job. It's in an office, and I do that for 40 hours a week, and then I do my freelancing in evenings and weekends. So sometimes between freelancing and my normal job, I have like a 60-hour work week, and that's just what it is. So it is a lot sometimes just trying to start off as your own business and everything, because you will probably have to have some other substantial income before you actually are able to branch out on your own. This is my third year of freelancing. I'm just getting into my third year, and I cannot leave full-time yet. It'll probably take maybe a year or two more. Just kind of want to go into basically like, I guess, the struggles and then how you manage your work life and your personal life, because it is very hard. First of all, I want to let you know that it's really important, if you do have a full-time job, to be very honest and upfront about the fact that you do have another job and that you may possibly need to leave. So you need to find a job that's really flexible, just because it's really important to be able to take jobs whenever you can as a freelancer, especially if you're building your business. For instance, if I turned down like all the photo shoots that I had during the week, then those photographers sometimes don't shoot on weekends. So a lot of the times you will be missing out on a lot of opportunities to be helping those photographers and building relationships with those photographers and everything, and they may not ever ask you to do work with them in the future when you're, full-time and everything with them, because they're going to be like, well, she didn't drop all of her stuff to be flexible with me, so why would I hire her for anything else? Number 2 is be disciplined and utilize your free time wisely. This is very, very important. So if you have a full-time job, for instance, mine goes from 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then I get an hour lunch break. So during that hour lunch break, I utilize that entire lunch period by either editing videos for YouTube, which happens a lot of the times because now YouTube's my career. And so I do technically have like 3 jobs going on now, but I do edit videos at lunchtime usually. And then when I get home from work, if I don't have any jobs going on, then I will either sit down and film videos, or I also will prep my kit, or just kind of, I guess, do anything else I need for my business. So like accounting things, I always have accounting and receipts to keep track of. So I usually do that in my downtime, but you basically just need to figure out how to like utilize your time wisely so a lot of your time isn't wasted, because again, if you don't do freelancing full-time, you're not going to have a bunch of extra time to just sit around and, do random things throughout the day, or, maybe have this be a free day. You're always constantly working. Again, I have, my full-time job, which takes up 40 hours of the week. Then I have my freelancing career, which takes up, 16 to 20 hours a week, depending on what I'm doing. And then I also have my YouTube career now, which obviously a lot of the time is spent filming and editing, and that takes a really long time, but it is a lot to keep track of. And so you kind of just have to be a multitasker. You have to set your mind to something. You have to be very goal-oriented to be able to get stuff done, and you cannot procrastinate whatsoever. This also leads me into my third thing, is knowing your limits. Knowing your limits is very important, because it can be a very, very overwhelming thing to manage your work life and your personal life and your other work life. So you want to make sure that you do have downtime for yourself. You obviously can't just be working constantly. You can't work for 24 hours straight. You got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to spend time with friends and family. You know what I mean? You still need to have downtime for yourself. So if you get so busy to the point where it's kind of overwhelming, honestly, I would just take a staycation. Just don't take appointments or anything for an entire week, with your freelancing career or any other jobs that you're doing, and just focus on your full-time jobs. You do really need to give yourself a break sometimes, because if you overwork yourself, you're going to start messing up. You're going to start losing track of things. You're going to not, be prepared for things. Your work's not going to reflect it. You're just going to get very, very run down, and it's going to reflect very, very poorly on your business. So just make sure that you do heavily provide downtime for yourself, or just designate it somehow. Okay, number 4 is not forgetting your day job. It's very important to know that you obviously do have a full-time job for a reason, and that is your full-time job primarily. So you want to make sure that you don't let your freelancing career, even though it's a huge passion of yours, to take over your quality of work for your full-time job, if that makes sense. Like, you still want to be able to get done with all your things that you need to do throughout the week in your full-time career and do it efficiently while also managing your freelancing career on the side. For instance, sometimes during slow periods in my office, I will work on my freelancing stuff, but a lot of the times I usually finish my work like probably in about 30 hours, I want to say. I usually get super, super slow during the end of the week in my office job because I don't have a ton of stuff to do. I usually work pretty efficiently and really quickly because I'm used to working in a retail environment where everything's just go, 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 go. I've worked several different Black Fridays at this point in time, and everything's just really quick paced and everything. So when I got to an office job, it was a total complete 180 for me. And they're like, oh yeah, as long as you get your work done in this amount of time and know when these bills are due, then you have to bill out these jobs, but then you can kind of take your time doing this, make sure you get your accounting done, at this time of the month, but then otherwise than that, you can kind of just do whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I don't really know realistically how to pace myself when it comes to my work. Sometimes it's really important for me to kind of just preoccupy myself with other things, otherwise I don't get stuff done. So I do work on my website design, I've worked on corresponding emails at work, and I've also worked on like editing YouTube videos depending on what's going on. Like if nobody's in the office, I'll sit there and like edit videos because obviously I need the sound on. Okay, number 5 is being able to keep track of your schedule. This is probably like one of the number 1 most important things, honestly, besides time management, is keeping track of your schedule. So being a business owner, it's obviously very important to remember your own schedule because nobody else is going to memorize it for you. It's something that you have to keep track of. When you're in business for yourself, it's not like you have doctor and dental appointments and everything, and the office is calling you up a week beforehand. It's like, hey, just so you know, you have an appointment there and at this date and time, and you're like, okay, thanks. Nobody's going to remind you. You have to keep track of your own schedule when you're a business owner because hardly any of your clients are gonna confirm with you first because you're the one that's confirming with them. So you want to make sure that you keep track of your entire schedule. Like literally, I'm probably the most forgetful person. And because I know that I'm a forgetful person, once I have a conversation with somebody and we set a date and time for something, it instantly goes in my phone calendar and that's where it stays. I also have a wall calendar as well, just in case it gets deleted out of my phone for some reason, because sometimes my phone likes to do that to me. But yeah, so I have a digital copy and a hard copy of my calendar, and that's how I manage my schedule. Again, literally right after I set an appointment with somebody, it goes in my calendar. I don't have any doubts about it because I have done that to myself before. I haven't forgotten appointments before, but I've basically gotten to the point where I'm like, oh shoot, I needed to be here, and then I'm rushing to try to get there because I almost forgot about it. Just make sure that it goes in your calendar right away after you do appointments, and that's probably the greatest tip that I can ever give you as far as managing appointments. And then also manage your schedule just in general. So obviously your full-time job is pretty consistent most of the time. Like if you have an office job, like mine runs from 7 to 4, and I know I'm going to be busy during that time. But for instance, if I have an appointment that randomly occurs at 1 o'clock and I have to, leave work to go there and then maybe have to get lunch on the way back to work and then eat my lunch at the office again, you kind of just have to learn how to manage all that time together and everything, and then know where you have to be when. So then you don't start overlapping appointments, you forget about other appointments, and then you don't show up to places that you're supposed to, and things can just honestly be like a hot mess. Just make sure that you remember appointments, because with your clients, especially your brides, if you don't show up for a bridal trial or you're late or you forget about it, they're probably not going to basically trust you on their wedding day. Like if you show up late, not maybe a couple minutes late, but maybe you're running 10 to 20 minutes late or something for their appointment, they're probably gonna have a huge issue with you because obviously that shows that you don't time manage very well, you don't remember stuff very well, and you may not show up for their wedding date. Okay, so I think that's it for the 5 things that I wanted to cover as far as just, balancing your work life, your other work life, and your personal life. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Again, if you guys stayed all the way till the end of the video, please give me a big thumbs up on this video, as well as hitting that subscribe button if you guys have not already. I upload a ton of makeup artist related content on my channel, so I'd greatly appreciate it if you did join the YouTube family. As always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. All right, bye.